Madame Miguel Castaneda here. Once again, I'm at the gym. If you can see the background, we kick ass in here. That's pretty cool. I, there's nothing wrong with kicking at someone's ass every now and then if they deserve it, verbally, argumentatively, spiritually, sometimes physically, if they're a close friend or a brother or something like that, and they'll understand. And, but I wanted to make a few points. So the last video I made, I said COPE was the most secure form of, mobile device management, corporate-owned, personally enabled. It's actually COBO, corporate-owned business, corporate-owned business only, right? So that's the most secure. And I just, I think back and I think of things where I made some mistakes, and I just want to clarify that. And that's what the tabletop exercise is for, to find out where you make your mistakes, where you can improve security, where you can improve offense, things of that nature. So what I wanted to do is talk about my background as a nationally certified intervention professional, right? I'm also a nationally certified life coach, recovery coach. So I have a general basic, average education in that from an online course I took. And, and this goes to the fentanyl crisis and any families out there struggling with a family member, on drugs, to where, they could die very soon if they don't get help or get treatment. And, and I'm giving away, the meat and sauce and, the secrets to the trade. And basically I'm throwing myself under the bus, because likely no one's going to hire me if I just, say you could do this on your own. But it really, I'm one guy, San Antonio. I don't believe there's too many nationally certified intervention professionals. And if you don't know what that is, that's where, a professional will intervene in a family who has a drug addict or a family of drug addicts, and they convince them through love and support. They convince them and persuade them to seek treatment, to go to a treatment center. And here's how you do it, basically. For me to work remotely, nationally, online, through anywhere in the nation, this is how I'm reaching out with this video. And what you can go to recovery.com. That's find your city and state, look for recovery treatment centers, detox centers, treatment centers, sobriety homes, and things of that nature. Figure out which ones take insurance, because they're very expensive. Unless you're rich, you're private pay. Unless you're rich, they could cost $30,000 a month or something crazy like that, maybe $20,000 a month. It's pretty crazy. Some might be less expensive, some might be more expensive, but that's why you need insurance to cover it. Most people need insurance to cover it. So check to see if you have insurance, or get insurance if you can. And go to recovery.com and see what centers in your area accept your insurance specifically. And there's still going to be a copay, a deductible. It could be $2,000, something around that, maybe more, maybe less. So it just depends, right, on your insurance and what they support and their policies. So once you do that, I also offer virtual recovery coaching, but I don't believe that people even know. I can't market. It's very expensive to market, get your name out. You have to be you have to have a history and a background of, a lot of supporters and, genuine subscribers and followers who you've helped. And I'm just getting my foot in the door, like getting off the ground. So, this is me giving free advice to families who have drug addicts who have not died yet, but they're on the verge of death. The ones that have died, you can't do anything about that except protect the family that you have left, right? And you have to be strong for the family that you have left. The rest of the kids, the rest of the families and siblings, and everyone else in the family circle. So, you have to be that rock and remain strong, be the foundation, and be that shoulder to lean on. Otherwise, if you break down and have a mental breakdown, and other people are gonna, it's gonna be a little bit contagious, and other people you might bring them down with you. So, But with getting people treatment, I've watched a lot of documentaries on intervention. It's on Amazon, maybe Netflix. It's called Intervention. Professionals will go to people's homes or to a hotel or Starbucks, and they meet the family, they meet the kid, they talk to them, and then the family tells their kid a love letter, like a love and support letter, like the aunt, the uncle, the friends, the girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, sisters, brothers. If there's an addict in the family, they say, look, we love you, we support you. We don't support the addict. We want you back, right? We want the real you back. We don't want this drug addict who's stealing or doing drugs and injecting, has no future. We want you to have a future with the family and be successful and have that career, have that wife and kids and everything. So, or husband and kids, But so, a lot of addicts, it's a cycle. Just like scientists do studies on mice and rats and stuff like that, and mammals and chimpanzees and all that stuff. Mammals, we have this addictive personality or addictive nature because we're a mix of chemicals and liquids, and we're organic, an organic creature, and anything can be addictive. Cocaine, cigarettes is addictive. Alcohol can be, you could gain a physical dependence to that. Opiates, you gain a physical dependence to that. And alcohol and opiates, you could die from withdrawal. It's that extreme. Everything else, like you could quit cold turkey or do harm reduction. So harm reduction is where, like, if you're really addicted to drugs, pills, whatever, Vicodin, opiates, like alcohol, cocaine, meth, whatever it is, just start taking a lesser amount. Take half the amount, then take half the amount, then take 25% the amount until you wean off. It's kind of like coffee drinkers. Coffee, they might drink decaf, right? There's still a little bit of caffeine, but it's decaf, and they still have that habit of drinking coffee, but it's decaf, right? Cigarettes, there's like there's lights or something like that, right? There's less nicotine or something like that, so there's lights and 100s and all that. So there's ways to quit. There's patches, there's nicotine gum and all that stuff. With meth and opiates and all that, there's Suboxone, there's methadone, that's called harm reduction, right? You could go to a treatment center and get that kind of stuff. There's clean sterilization units. They're called safe injection sites. In some states and cities, they have people that monitor you while you inject your fentanyl or heroin or drugs or whatever it is, and they monitor the amount you take to make sure you don't overdose. It's a safe injection site, and they give you clean needles and to make sure you don't spread AIDS or HIV or any other drugs, hepatitis C or anything of that nature. So, for if I was a family member, if I was in your shoes, like if you're watching this and you have an addict in the family, and I had an addict son or daughter or something like that, I would not recommend a safe injection site, right? I would recommend getting treatment, getting help, because that's one alternative. But that's like, well, they're not going to get better. They're just going to stay on the street if the safe injection sites, just supports their habit. Just make sure they don't spread disease. But I would recommend going to recovery.com, right, and looking up treatment centers, getting my insurance to pay for it, or getting insurance, one that covers the cost for recovery center. Maybe reaching out to the recovery center and asking them what insurance companies they take, right? You have to coordinate with these people in these hospitals. Sometimes it's just a 30-day stay, from maybe 60, maybe 90, depending on how much the insurance covers. If it's private pay, you might be able to stay longer. Some of them are resorts. You can have hospital Wi-Fi phones. You can have, they have TVs, they have activities. It's really a resort. Some of them are luxury resorts, so that's why it's expensive. It's really to get them out in a different scenario, different situation, and experiencing life, how beautiful life can be, the sober life, and staying clean. Now, it's really important to maintain that sobriety and that lifestyle, because some people who go to recovery, they end up relapsing. They go to recovery, a few weeks later, a few months later, they relapse and they die. shit like that. So sometimes they make documentaries and it's about recovery, but then they just relapse later and they die, and then their friend dies or the husband or wife dies, and so they die together. So it's really messed up. So to maintain that, a way to prevent that, it's hard to just do 30 days and then be 100% fixed, right? 30 days in a recovery center, okay, I'm good, now what, right? It's really, you need that virtual recovery coaching or some sort of recovery coaching, like a life coach, to maintain that, keeping up with you a couple times a week, every day, once a week, whatever, once a month, whatever you need, specifically tailored to your personality and to your habits and to your, who you are. And, so as a recovery coach and life coach, I would say that, to maintain that kind of stuff, you need family connection, you need a buddy system, someone really close to you that's like a designated driver, a sober friend, right? A sober companion or something like that, right? And, you're gonna need to stay healthy as possible. Just have a new habit. My new habit, I've been a drug addict big time, right? I've been a huge drug addict. I should be dead, right? I have heart murmur, like a heart palpitation from the amount of drugs I've done. And, my heart's been pounding out of my chest. I've done crazy stuff running around, just messed up, or, getting wasted and falling downstairs, or waking up in my vomit, and I would have died, but I threw the shit up. And whatever it was, painkillers or opiates or whatever kind of pills I was doing and mixing it, I would take pills sometimes, wouldn't even know what it is, and just trying to mess up or escape reality. And people just get crazy or involved in shit like that sometimes, and I was one of those young individuals who lacked some leadership in my life. So I just needed a good role model or leader to look up to, and I didn't really have that, right? So I'm doing the best I can to give some advice, to maybe someone could see this and say, look, that was one habit, right? A lot of drugs. And the new habit I have, look where I'm at, I'm at the fucking gym. And I take a good amount of vitamins. I'll take at least like 10 pills a day, right? Space it out, 3 pills in the morning, 3 pills in the afternoon, 4 pills at night, and they're different things. Some are for brain, neuroplasticity, memory, cognitive functioning. Some are for my heart. Some are for my neurotransmitters. Some are for kidney detoxification, liver detox, heart support, and things of that nature. I take a comprehensive, vitamin, and you can find this online. My city, San Antonio, has the best nutrition center, likely that I know of, right? And if you go online, I'll give you another secret, right? Go to Mother Earth Labs. It's a free secret, right? Mother Earth Labs, if you don't know about it, it's not really, it's public information, but if you don't know where to go, I'm kind of guiding you, giving you that free mentorship, right? MotherEarthLabs.com, and look at the vitamins. There's one called Comprehensive Core. There's a liquid vitamin. There's like humic and fulvic acid. That's gonna help with like cell regeneration and stuff like that. There's gonna be like detox probiotics, prebiotics for your gut, that'll maintain your, your pH balance, your health, and overall health and immune system, things of that nature. Take your vitamin C. That's going to boost immune system. Your vitamin D is going to help to keep your skeleton strong, your bones strong, your teeth strong, and it's also going to help prevent cancer, right? We're almost in Cancer Awareness Month, which is October, and this is a pink ribbon symbol for breast cancer awareness in October. Women are prone to breast cancer and ovarian cancer and things of that nature, and you can prevent that, right? Hispanic women are known to get less cancer, I believe, I've read, because they eat more beans. There's lysine in beans and peas and stuff like that. Their diet, has certain nutrients in it that prevent cancer. And if you get an adequate vitamin D from the sun, or, you take it in a pill form, I take it in pill form. I don't get a whole lot of sun, but that supplements that. And that prevents up to 17 different types of cancer, from what I read in a medical journal. Orthomolecular medicine, which is like the cellular molecules of how vitamins and nutrition function. It's nutritional therapy, right? So, you know, I'm consider myself self-educated. You know, I'm very inquisitive. I do a lot of research. I'm very curious to how things work and how to improve, you know, my life and the lives of my friends and family. So, you know, with that said, Mother Earth Labs, take a good vitamin, comprehensive core or comprehensive vitamin. You look at the back, there's all these organics, there's all these, you know, extracts and proprietary blends, and it's about 50 bucks a month, right? It'll last you a month, but a jar or a bottle will be like 50 bucks. So you got to have a little bit of money to be able to afford health, right? Health costs money. Whether it's a gym membership, this gym is like 10 bucks a month, right? $9.99 a month, right? You want some more amenities, it's like 30 bucks a month, right? You want like daycare centers, like maybe 40, 50 bucks a month, something like that. So, you know, 10 bucks a month, you know, you get most of everything you need, right? So, you know, gym membership, multivitamin, vitamin D, maybe some supplements for your cognitive function and memory support, ginkgo biloba, to help recover from damage you might have received from medicine. I see some documentaries, kids, like teenagers, are getting abscesses on the arms, getting holes in the arm, looking like that movie Requiem for a Dream or something like that, right? If you remember that movie, this dude's arms like just got track marks in it. It's rotting from the inside out. They might have to amputate. I saw a woman on the street, she did so much drugs, her arm swelled up. They're gonna have to amputate her arm. And that's really sad. Hopefully she survives, but sometimes they're still addicted after that. And the drug dealers are psychologically manipulative. They're psychopaths and sociopaths, and they take advantage. They don't care how much someone's struggling. They'll manipulate them, sell them a drug, take their money, and they wouldn't care if they die on the street the next day or the same night, you know. So, you know, multivitamin, hit the gym, you know, get some exercise, sweat it out, go to the sauna, sweat it out, and find that new habit. Find a career, get into IT, go to college, you know, find a good career that you're passionate about. And that's what it is. I've called the suicide hotline for a friend before. I said, you know, what can I say to my friend if they're considering, like, you know, they're very depressed or they don't want to live, they're suicidal. And there's people that I knew at the time that were like that. And they said, find your passion, just find your passion. Whatever you're passionate about, art, whatever it is, right? You don't have to go to Harvard. You don't have to be this top dog lawyer, this fancy lawyer or anything like that, a doctor making a lot of money. If you really want to help people, that's cool. But, you know, as long as you're alive and happy and healthy and you're with your friends and family, you're rich. You got everything you need, you know? And, you know, so your life and your health are priceless, right? Mental, physical health, your friends and family, being there for them, being able to, you know, be coherent and competent around them, right? Spending quality time with them, that's priceless, right? So find your passion. You do have to support yourself in this world, so you need a form of making money. And, you know, there's all sorts of programs online that you could take, trades that you could learn, financial aid programs, but mainly that's what you need your new addiction to be. Where am I going to work? Where am I going to make money? How taking this vitamin every day, that's a habit. Working out once a day, every other day, an hour a day, 2-3 hours a day if you really need to break that habit. And finding something to keep your mind occupied, right? It could be playing chess. That helps with me. It helps with schizophrenia. It helps organize your thinking. It helps see strategy and vision. It helps you plan out the future. It helps your prefrontal cortex get stronger and your executive functioning to make better decisions. It helps build dendrites. It helps build memory. It helps with like social interaction. It helps a lot. Chess is very beneficial. There's tons of benefits to chess, right? For kids and adults and the elderly, right? So get into chess. And if you're not into that, you know, just find what you're passionate about, right? Whether it's, you know, like I said, art, music. I've made some music before. It was therapeutic, expressing myself. So, you know, and maybe later I'm going to put something on my website that has like the top 100 jobs you could get without a college degree. You could really just Google that. Google the top 10 jobs you could get without a college degree. Some of them are like wind turbine technician or power plant technician, or CDL license, driving a truck, or things of that nature. So there's you could become a LVN, or things of that nature, right? In the medical field, phlebotomist, all sorts of things. So I'm gonna walk outside in a second. There's look up the top 100 jobs that you can get without a college degree that are highest paying. Some of obviously one of the main ones is cybersecurity, information technology, help desk. You could work your way up to help desk 2 and 3, making $100,000 a year. Sometimes they say for compliance and cybersecurity, you can make $100,000 a year. Pen testing, things of that nature, which is ethical hacking, which is red team operations. And sometimes it's hard to get that job, but I'll speak more on that later. The main thing you're going to need to know is you have to build a new habit, and building a new habit could take a month, it could take 2 months or 3 months, depending on how your body is, right? The physics and biology and anatomy and kind of genetic predispositions to your brain and body. So building a new habit could take some time, 1, 2, 3 months. And if you've been doing drugs for years, drugs for a few months, drugs for years, you have a lot of physical dependency, mental dependency. There's a psychological dependency to some of these drugs. There's a psychological dependency. You just can't live or function without these drugs. You don't see the purpose to life without doing drugs. You just want to do drugs, and that's the only way you could get by. You could be distraught, depressed, whatever it is, mentally ill. And you're gonna need to build that new habit, and that new habit is finding that career, making as much money as possible, supporting your family, and getting that education that you need to have a successful life. So I'm walking out. And I'm gonna speak more on this in a second. The stuff I'm saying is pretty basic. See, this is where I get. It's kind of loud in here. I'm gonna post a link on my site with the salaries, right? With the salaries to some of these jobs that pay between 50 and 100 grand a year without a college education. Because for me, even college is difficult. It was difficult for me to make it through. There's a lot of reading, there's a lot of test taking, browser lockdowns if you're working remotely, and they make sure you can't use your notes. If you're disabled, you might get accommodations, but what else can I speak on about? What I will say is that for a drug addict, when you're writing those love and support letters, you have to mention that you have to talk to them like, what do you love more, your friends and family or these drugs, right? So hopefully they say friends and family, but you can't help them if they say drugs and if they want to go on the street. And as a nationally certified intervention professional, what the family can do, what I'm supposed to do is go to the place and say, look, we're going to lock all the doors in the house. We're going to put new locks on the doors. And if the kid or whoever it is, the addict, right, if they have a car, we're going to flatten the tires, right? Push that little button on the tire, flatten the tires so they can't go nowhere. And just say, look, we're going to kick you out. If you try to break in, we're going to call the cops for trespassing. And we're going to kick you out. You're going to be on the street, homeless, hit the streets. That's it. Hit the road, Jack. And, if you don't seek treatment. So it's either treatment or the streets, right? Treatment, we're not going to support your habit. We're not going to support your drugs. We're not going to give you money. We're going to cut off your cell phone. We're going to cut up your credit cards. We're not giving you anything, food, water, nothing. You're going to be on the street on your own. We're not going to support this drug addict because you are not who you used to be. You're not the genuine you, right? You're this drug addict and you want to, just spend all this money on injecting shit into your system and getting inebriated, intoxicated, and really messed up and incoherent. And You're not providing love and support to this family. You're not contributing to this family, right? So, that's what you got to do, right? Give them that ultimatum. And that ultimatum is, recovery center, 30 days, or hit the streets, right? If it's a kid, right, a teenager under 18, there's a gray area, because like that's child endangerment, right? If you just kick them out on the street, child endangerment. But if it's life and death, and sometimes it's life and death, right? So life and death is just like, what they could do one more hit, one more pill, one more shot, one more line, one more injection of drugs, and it's over, right? So if you support them, they either hit the streets, they might turn to drugs anyway. Yeah, they could get raped and killed or whatever on the street, but you can't you can't get too worked up about that, because if they continue to do drugs, you're likely going to die anyway, or they're likely going to end up in a sex trade or some sort of ring, or just end up dead on the street, or they might get kidnapped, killed, abducted in a van and have their organs sold on the dark web and shit like that. I don't know how often that happens. I've seen shit on social media where vans try to kidnap people and throw chicks like in the back of their van and kidnap them and shit. You don't know what's going to happen after that. So I'm just taking my best educated guess, right? Because I believe, I know shit like that happens. So, and I don't want to sound like this, someone who's like trying to sell information or anything like that, because all this information is freely available on the internet. I took a course. I'm an nationally certified intervention professional. I paid thousands of dollars for this course to learn some of this information. And with my experience, I've learned some of these things, that I'm giving you some of my, suggestions, recommendations, and advice and mentorship that I've accumulated throughout the years of my sobriety journey, right? So, that's, you're going to want to, give that drug addict the ultimatum. I want to put stuff like, the best thing you can do is go to college, right? Anyone who's, even if they're 30 years old, right? Even if they're an addict, college is the best thing. I knew an 80-year-old secretary. She was like 80. She just white hair, wrinkles. She's old. She's walking real slow. She's old. And she went back to school and got her master's online. She said it helped her, build confidence and made her feel, understand things on a different level and be smarter, have different perspectives. And she went online for her master's, and she's 80. People go to college even at that age. So you could go to college at any age, no matter who you are as an addict or not. I know addicts that are successful in college, and, the course that I went to, you can't do drugs and go to college. You cannot be a surgeon and do drugs. You will kill someone. If you're operating on hearts or something like that, you're going to kill someone if you're doing drugs, and if you're a doctor and shit like that. So you can't, you're going to be messing up, doing things wrong, being disrespectful. So you once you're sober, you need to stay that way for good, right? And it's not easy. It takes a while. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of discipline. You have to be very, very strong. You have to have a good support network. Your family has to be there. You have to have that buddy system, the sober companion, whoever's supporting you the most, and they have to be sober too, because you're gonna, So, it's life or death. It's life or death, and every time you drink something, or smoke something, or take a pill, or inject something, brain cells are dying. That's death. And that's what it tastes like. When you're all messed up and you think you're feeling good, those are cells in your brain dying. Those are you're functioning at a lower level, and I guess for some reason there's some euphoria, for some reason dopamine, or not epinephrine, but endorphins and shit like that are being released. Maybe it feels a little good. It's just how the body works, I guess, but it's not. It's really not good, right? Get drunk, take some pills if you really want to get high, and try to solve some sort of math equation. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be difficult to take a test. Try to take some tests online while you're all inebriated and messed up. I knew one of my mentors. He was drunk. He was partying. He was in college, and he took a test when he was drunk. He didn't pass. He said he was inebriated. He had to try again when he was sober. So that shit obviously affects your cognitive functioning. So everyone knows this is basic stuff, but like I said, I want to give anyone who watches this, and my friends and family, the most opportunity as possible. Whether it's in the medical field, information technology, whether it's learning a trade, whether it's you could reach the top, right? Aim for the moon. If you shoot for the moon and you miss, you still land among the stars, right? You're still gonna reach the top, right? So this is I've given a lot of free advice here. Health, building strength, finding a new habit. Your new habit: taking pills, taking health vitamins, vitamin pills, 2-3 times a day. A good regimen, right? A good exercise regimen, hitting the gym 3 to 5 days a week, just walking, keeping it basic, just having that cardiovascular activity, staying in shape, and just maintaining cardiovascular health, right? Cardiovascular disease is a leading cause of death in America. 800,000 people die a year from cardiovascular disease: heart attack, stroke, atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, all that kind of crazy shit, right? Drugs, heart attacks. And so as you age, the brain has more difficulty regulating the heart. It's a silent killer, so you might not even know you have high blood pressure. You need to monitor that. Get a machine, go to the hospital, check your blood pressure. It should be 120/80 on average. And if yours is really high, you need to get put on heart medicine. Then you need to download a medicine adherence app, right? Medication adherence app. There's the ones out there like MediSafe. It'll just remind you, set off alarms, notify your friends and family. If you log them in the system, it'll notify your friends and family and set off alarms when it's time for you to take your medication. You have to mark it as taken. And because 70%, about 70% of people on medication are not adherent. They fail to take their medicine on time. They fail to be disciplined enough to take their medicine every day like they're supposed to, whether it's insulin, diabetic medicine, or heart medicine, or psych medicine, or whatever. Maybe 50%, right? There's a lot of people that are just not adherent, and they end up dying, right? They just say, oh, I don't need it, I feel better, or they forget in their old age, and they have a heart attack, or insulin attack, or whatever you call it, like a diabetic attack or shock, or whatever it is, a psychiatric episode, a psychotic episode, if they miss their psych medicine or some shit like that, right? Medication adherence is very important, right? Especially if it's for your medical health, right? And so that's another thing I'll say, right? Your heart is just as important as your brain, right? You need your heart to function, to live. With high blood pressure and heart disease being and heart attacks and cardiovascular disease being the leading cause of death in America, 800,000 people dying every year from cardiovascular disease. It's good to keep up on that and track that and monitor that at the earliest stages as possible, right? So you can prevent yourself from going through heart attacks or death or stroke or anything like that. So maintain your health. Get a machine that checks your blood pressure. Keep track of that once a week, every day maybe. Get an iWatch or Apple Watch or Fitbit. Keep track of your pulse. Jog if you can, if you're in good shape. For me, I go on brisk walks, power walks, and stuff like that. So there's not too much else to say on that, right? Do your push-ups, go on power walks, go to the park, get that exercise, go places, go for walks, get some sun, hit the gym, take your protein, take your branched chain amino acids, take your comprehensive core vitamins, take your, whatever you need, ginkgo biloba, memory function, brain function, medicine, stuff of that nature. Find a new habit. These are your new habits, right? Health, extreme physical and mental health. And you can't play around, right? This is your life. This is your friends and family. And you have to see it like a chess game. If you've ever played chess, there's short games. If you're doing drugs, you're going to play a short game. You're going to get checkmated quick, right? That's death. You want to play a long game, those can last an hour and 30 minutes, 2, 3, 4 hours. Some games they could take a long time. And, that kind of represents like maybe living 80 to 100 years. You might live 60 years, 70, 80 years. That's good, right? That's the average lifespan, around 80 years for an American. if you live to be 100 years, like my grandfather and my grandmother, they lived to be about close to that age. You're doing pretty good if you're in good shape, right? I know friends and family, they're getting up there in that age bracket, and they're still in pretty good shape because they hit the gym, they eat right, they diet, they exercise, they keep their mind strong, whether it's like word search puzzles, Sudoku, reading books, things of that nature, going places, going to events, visiting, traveling, doing tourism, stuff like that, right? Hopefully I've said something helpful. You know, you got to find that new habit, extremely important. I talked about my history a little bit, about my drug use and how I could have easily died and lost my life, and it took a lot. I also wanted to say that, you know, if your family's doing, if you have a family member, a son or daughter doing drugs, and they're highly addicted, they're not going to stop, right? You can't do anything. Maybe they're even older, and they have their own job, they have their own money. You can't take anything away, right? And they're addicted to drugs. Sometimes those people die. But what you can do is get with their boss, right? Call their company, get with their boss, tell them they're doing drugs, and either they're going to get treatment or they're going to get fired, right? You have to coordinate with their boss. That's one way to do it. Coordinate with their boss, right? And if they're still younger, or another possibility, another avenue of approach for a solution to take care of this is setting them up. And there's a little bit of ethical boundaries, and it's a little bit of a gray area. But if you set them up, you could set them up with drugs, buy some drugs, set them up with a unregistered weapon or something like that. And you know, it sounds bad, and but if they have to go to jail for that, you call the cops, say, look, they got a gun, they got drugs, I found them in their bedroom, and here it is, and they need to do some time or something like that. Well, I spent 10 years in jail and cycle wards, and that likely saved my life. There's people in jail that said, look, if we weren't in jail, we're sitting there pondering, looking around, thinking, like, you know, if we were still out there, God probably protected us, right? If we were still out there, we'd probably have overdose. We probably would have got shot and killed on the street by rival gang members, or, you know, just random, maybe a car accident. It could be anything. We think like sometimes God protected us. And if you're in jail, it gives you time to think. I need to sober up. I need to clean up, change my life, do right, help people, and help, you know, try to find purpose and meaning. So jail and psych wards, it can be life changing, right? And it could take years. And if they're doing, say, 30 days in recovery center, that can help a little bit. But in jail, you might learn some discipline, right? You might learn a few things about, you know, how to interact with people. And if you think like Jesus interacted, like when he was put on the cross, there's two people next to him, a robber and a murderer. People don't remember all that, but in the Bible, there was 3 crosses, right? Not just one cross. It's not just Jesus by himself, but it's Jesus with the robber on one side and the murderer on the other side. And they said, you know, remember me when you go to heaven. Remember me when you are in paradise, right? So, you know, and Jesus hung around with people like that, robbers and murderers, and he would try to, you know, talk to people, you know, whoever they are, right? He defended an adulteress, right? An adulteress, right? So he said, like, anyone here who is without sin, let them cast the first stone, right? He who is without sin. We're all sinners, right? We all sin. So no matter who you are, you've likely done something wrong in your life, right? We're all sinners. So Jesus was just under, you know, his message is like, well, we need to still look out for one another, right? No matter who you are. So jail and having that Christian mindset and having that Christianity and that Christian mindset and talking to people and reading the Bible, they do that a lot in jail. You'd be surprised. Like, there's some people that just watch the Christian channel a lot and read the Bible and have Bible studies. And, you know, if there is a fight or something like that, well, something really bad happened, or, you know, that's what gangs are, to protect themselves from other crazy people. But if you really have strong beliefs and you're a good person, they'll understand, and you should be good to go, right? You break bread, you look out for one another, and they'll learn that kind of unity, right? And those are skills that they could bring into the workplace, right? So if they get out 2-3 years later, they could be a better person. They could learn a lot, and sometimes that's better for them, right? And sometimes, obviously it could be, it goes both ways. It's a double-edged sword, right? If they hang around the wrong crowd, things could get worse, right? But you have to be strong, right? You need that support, and you may or may not believe in God or anything like that, but the Bible's going to help. There's a lot of principles in Proverbs and, the Psalms. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. So, there's a lot of profound, positive, significant scriptures in the Bible. Wisdom, there's a lot of wisdom, and it's about, protecting your money, right? A fool and his money will soon part, right? A fool and his money will soon part. So anyone with money, if you're a fool, you're gonna buy some stupid shit. You're gonna do this and that, and you're gonna have things you don't need, and you're gonna spend it and just kind of be a thrift spender and buy shit and maybe give it away, and do all this extravagant shit, right? Go to all these places you don't need to go, do that hedonistic bullshit and doing drugs and alcohol and doing all this crazy stuff, and probably get robbed and shit like that because you're hanging around the wrong crowd. And with all that, you're gonna part with your money if you're a fool. And if you're smart, you're saving, you're doing the right thing, providing for your family and taking care of your friends on a different level. But you're gonna have things that you need, right? Shelter, food, 3 hots and a cot, right? You're gonna be free. You're gonna have this freedom. You're gonna have a good career, right? You're gonna be strong. You're gonna be disciplined. You're gonna have friends, good network, and you're gonna have a future. So there's a lot of wisdom in the Bible. I can't sit here and speak on every single scripture, but I'll say one more thing. This Latin king, his favorite scripture was Proverbs 12:11, which I believe is he who chases dreams is senseless, but he who tills his land will always have plenty of bread. So he who works, right? He who works on the land will always have plenty of bread. You chase dreams, you want to win the lottery, you want to sell drugs, be a drug addict or just pimp or something like that. You want to do all these dumb things. You might make it, but something bad might happen. But for the most part, you chase dreams, it's senseless. Like, you need to till your land. Sometimes I believe that's also a metaphor for building relationships and building networks and having connections with other professionals, right? And that's going to be tilling the land. And plenty of bread will be like support and love and things like that, right? Things that you need to build for your future. Information, right? Education, right? And that's very powerful, right? Because you could do a lot with that. It could be life-changing. It can be life and death sometimes, right? Just like money can be life and death, information can be life and death. If I don't know what's in a pill, that's life and death. That's information. I don't have the information. I don't know what's in it. And that's life and death, right? Information is life and death. Simple as that. Information in this world with the law, when you go to court, certain laws and penal codes and articles and subchapters, that shit, prison, that's either life in prison or, probation, something like that, right? So that's kind of life and death, right? Because what's going to happen in prison? You get stabbed and killed, do some more drugs, get tattoos with, you might get HIV or hepatitis C or something like that and die from a tooth infection or something crazy like that. Like, in prison, medical and dental care is terrible. They won't work on your teeth unless you're going to pull a tooth out. They won't give you a crown, a cap, a root canal or anything like that. They won't, they're just going to pull your teeth out. They don't care. They have to pull all of them out. You're going to be eating with dentures when you're 30, right? Their toothpaste, that Bob Barker shit is trash, right? It's, I would probably, I would go insane in a place like that. And I did a little bit, so I've made a pretty significant recovery. But these are things I wanted to mention. Have a Christian mindset, take a Christian course, there's Christian courses you can purchase online. take a Christian course, take a paralegal course, become a paralegal. You don't, you can take correspondence courses for that. I don't believe you need a college education. It helps, but there's so much opportunity in the world. The internet gives you access to the whole world of information, the whole world's information, basically, right? And you could find any opportunity in the world, apply to thousands of jobs everywhere, right? Reach out, look for internship, reach out to mentors and experts, reach out to HR, reach out to recruiters, right? Reach out to recruiters and give them your resume, build a badass resume, send that shit to hundreds of recruiters. You get a job, you get a good job. I see people, and stuff I'm saying, people that see this might be like, well, he's saying basic shit. I have a good job, I'm good, this and that. Well, this is for people that I've been around, people in jail, people in psych wards, people I've seen on the street that, might see this, and, maybe it'll help them, right? I shouldn't have to post everything, but, just remember, Google the top 20 jobs, the highest paying top 20 jobs that you can get without a college degree, right? And you'll find some good work, right? And if you could build houses, be a auto mechanic, you could work on, cars, trucks, build houses, stuff like that, right? You could start your own company. My cousin has a maid service, and she's a multimillionaire, right? She works on so many hotels and apartments and stuff like that, something like that, right? That it took her maybe over a decade, maybe over 20 years, but she eventually made so much. She's super successful. And anyone can do that, any background. It doesn't take much of an education to do a little bit of paperwork with the IRS, but for the most part, just having people clean up hotels and apartments. That's not very technical. It's not too crazy. It's not like, it's not like building all these data centers all over the world, like in cybersecurity information technology. It's not like competing with Walmart or trying to build all these new Walmarts and Costco's and H-E-B's all over the nation. That would cost hundreds of billions of dollars at least, right? So, do what you can, do the research you can, look everything up. You can use AI for anything. Ask it anything. I ask it things all the time about health or, avenues for job searching tips and places that I could go for internships and maybe interviews and things of that nature, and what companies are hiring for certain roles, all sorts of stuff. So I'll find my place. And for now, hopefully some of this information was useful. As a nationally certified intervention professional, instead of intervening, you can find me on military104@outlook.com. But if these are my free services, free information, but for me to fly out and go places, that's a little crazy for me. And for me, I feel there's a little bit danger to that, but I'd consider that in the future, right? I'm on probation myself. So, flying out, talking to someone directly in person, coordinating this support group to talk to your addict family member and getting them into recovery, right? And then doing recovery coaching afterwards and life coaching. I basically did all that stuff here. You have to be, if you're the mother or father, stepmother, stepfather, or brother or sister, you have to be the strong person in your family to go up to that drug addict. If it's your sister or your brother or your mother, or your father, whoever it is, your cousin, you have to be that strong cousin or brother or sister, whoever you are, right? And be that strong individual to go up to them and say, look, we love and support you. You need to get treatment. Please go to treatment. Convince them, or kick them out. Hit the streets. If you don't want to tell them to hit the streets, just try to persuade them, right? If they refuse, then you have to kick them out if they live with you. And that's the hardest part about it, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to see them struggle, or they're going to be mad or crying and stuff like that. It's just what you got to do, right? You have to be strong enough to know that it's for their own good. And 9 times out of 10 times, they'll go to treatment. They'll be like, fuck it, I'm going to a luxury treatment center. And they get clean for 30 days. After that, maintain that sobriety. Get them to build these habits, vitamins, exercise, and like I said, career search, career opportunities, college, learning a trade. If you don't have the money for college, you can't afford all those loans, just learn a trade, whether it's welding and shit like that or whatever, There's all sorts of stuff out there. the medical communities. There's always going to be jobs in the medical community, right? People are always getting sick. People always need help. They always need their blood taken or labs or whatever it is, right? So, to my friends and family, I love y'all. Take care. I hope this information is useful for some people. And, just like I said, just look out for one another. Try to be there for one another. Understand what people are around you, what they're going through. Understand what your family's going through. People you love and care about, understand what they're going through, and just try to work with them the best you can to get them the help they need, right? And if you have to, like I said, set them up with drugs or a weapon or something like that. Send them to jail. Get them sent to jail, and maybe prison if they have to, because maybe they'll learn their lesson, and that'll scare them straight. You want to get scared straight? You ever see that show, Scared Straight? Well, when they go to prison, they're going to be scared straight, right? And if they survive, well, hopefully they do, and they're going to get out and they're going to try to do the right thing, more than likely, right? If they're really scared straight. So for me, I'm running, right? I've been running for a while. I'm running from my past. I'm running from things. I'm trying to make a better life for myself. I'm never going back. Never going back to those drugs or idiot stuff or doing wrong things or anything like that, hurting anyone. I'm trying to be the person, the best character I can be, and person of best morals and ethics and principles, right? And the most competent, sober person I can be. Sober. I'm sober as a judge. I've been sober as a judge for a while. I haven't touched a drop of alcohol for over a decade, right? So once again, I'll leave you all with that. There's that flag in the background. If you can kind of see it, it's draped down. But when the wind blows, that's the largest American flag you will likely ever see, right? It's enormous, but it's pretty cool. Well, I think I've said enough. Like I said, I hope this information was useful, and stay safe. Peace.